Joe Kernen has been a pretty reliable pro-Trump voice on CNBC for a very long time. He once attacked me on the former Twitter, now X, with some really nasty excretions when he didn't agree with my economic views during Donald Trump's first term. But he has increasingly and understandably expressed skepticism about this entire tariff fiasco. And he had Peter Navarro on, another former Trump economic advisor. And Kernen is simply not impressed with the arguments that Navarro is making. Take a listen to this.
And I think from policy institutes on both sides of the aisle, the methodology that was used has been universally derided as being non-serious. I don't know whether you know exactly who came up with the formula, but it allowed you to at least characterize most of these countries as being their tariffs well above the reality of the situation, so that when you say that we're going to do half on them, it was much higher than anyone anticipated. And I think you'd have to concede that this was not the market reaction you were looking for. There's a way of maybe incrementally trying to accomplish some of the things that the president wants to do in a reasonable, serious way. And this just almost across the board has caused what you're seeing in the stock market and a lot of head scratching and head shaking on whether anyone really knows what they're doing in this case, Peter.
Right, well,
Can you at least acknowledge that?
Sure. No, I can't, because here's what I'm seeing. You're throwing a lot of stuff at me. First of all, the methodology was perfectly sound. It was done by the Council of Economic Advisors based on long-term studies that are in the academic literature. And the people taking pot shots at us are the same people that always take pot shots
The American
on us.
Enterprise Institute, Peter.
Of course.
And of course, although the American Enterprise Institute, as Joe Kernen implies, is a longtime right-wing, economically conservative institution, I'm guessing Navarro is going, of course they're taking shots at us because they're probably part of the Rhino deep state, whatever. All right, this continues. And listen, Kernen's just not impressed. He's not finding Navarro's defenses of this tariff scheme compelling, and he should.
Tax cuts. Do you know anything about letting the top marginal rate go back? Are you a proponent of letting that go from 37 back above 39.6 to try to pay for some of this other stuff? Because you know how many small to medium-sized corporations pay taxes at those rates if they're
Joe, that one's not my lane. I let Scotty
well, you just said we're going to cut taxes. That's not
investing.
You add all this together.
No tax on tips.
And it's not
no tax on overtime. No tax on Social Security. Tax breaks for if you buy a domestic auto.
But if you raise the top rate, that's not a Republican or a conservative.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Whose idea was that? So the tariffs are all right. So you own the tariffs then.
Anyway, you get the point. Joe Kernen's not impressed. So as we zoom out on the bonus show today, we are going to talk about how right now, it was done yesterday, if you go and you survey Americans, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and you say, who's to blame for the current economic instability? Even Republicans are attributing at least some blame to Donald Trump. They don't all say most of the blame, but they're at least saying Trump gets some of the blame. There is something materially different happening here. Whether it will make a difference at the end of the day, we don't yet know, but something is happening here. Let's take a very quick break. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what the Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get the Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.